I understand that mindset. You are going on to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's why all of those people pretty much are on, everybody is on there to have a good time. Hey, did you see that Kerry said he never wants to do a cruise again?
Yeah. That was a little disheartening to me. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, because he had some experiences that are not necessarily our experience. But he still had a good time.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
All right, well, hi everybody. My name is G Brown, the Lifestyle Changer. And I am turning 60, but he's going to get there first. Go ahead.
And I'm Frederick Brown, the husband.
And you are hanging with the
Browns.
Browns. I was just really wrapped up in the moment that you're getting ready to turn 60 in how many days?
Wait a minute. By the time this show airs,
You'll be 60?
I will be 60.
You'll be 60.
I will be 60.
Ooh, I ain't never been with nobody that old.
Ain't never been with nobody as old as you either.
Okay, so we watched Kerry's video. We knew that we invited him to go on our carnivore cruise for 2024. And he shared with us how he and his family were finally doing a family vacation. It had been almost 10 years. And they were going on Norwegian, and we cruise a lot. So I know in July, we cruised to Alaska. And then, is it like September, October, November, December?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to do, so we went September, October, November, and now December. We are headed back on the ship. So we listened to some of the things that he talked about. Let's address some of the stuff and what our experience.
Yeah, and we've had some similar experiences, but well, a disclaimer though, because they were on the Norwegian cruise. We've never cruised on a Norwegian cruise line. All of our cruises have been either Royal Caribbean or Carnival, but mostly Royal Caribbean. We've only done Carnival maybe once or twice, but so the bulk of it is on Royal Caribbean, and we know there are some differences between the different cruise lines. So some of the stuff that he spoke about, we can't confirm or deny, but we can talk about how we combated some of the issues that he ran into, because we also ran into some of the similar issues. And one of the things he talked about was eating eggs for breakfast. And it's standard boilerplate. They got their oils. They just pour the oils in the pan and fry the eggs. That's just the way they do it. It's simple, it's easy, and that's pretty much what everybody does across the board. But being carnivore, we don't do seed oil, right? So tell them, baby, how do you combat it? What do you do?
Well, especially if I'm at the buffet, I go and get butter first. It's normally over there by the bread. You just think people put butter on their waffles. And so I go get the packs of butter. And then when I go, I let them know that the oil that they use, my body's not used to it, and it will cause me to have severe diarrhea. So please cook with this butter. And so that's normal, and it's day butter. Yeah. It's wrapped up in little pats that you have at the table. And so that's what I do in regards to that. He mentioned some, I never thought of it the way that he said when he said he feels like the designated driver. You guys go ahead, have a good time. How did you interpret it?
He kind of felt alone, and I think one of the things that we've often talked about is that my wife and I both do this. So, there's no loneliness in this journey, And
let me address that. I know for you, I saw what you did, it's almost 2 years now, your dedication when you were on that calorie deficit. And then I saw you through the pain. I saw you through the chicken Caesar salad. And so if by chance I hadn't started at all, right? What would have ended up happening with us? Your body would have become medication free. I still would have been eating small portions of and wishing and hoping that I can drop some pounds, and trying to do a caloric deficit as well. And so I know this would have been difficult, us going on the cruise and me doing whatever it is that I want to do, even though I wasn't eating the meat and dairy, but now they got a lot of vegan options on there. And you trying to stick to it, our experiences just really would have been different.
Yeah. I just realized what you're saying. You're talking about had we gone on a cruise when I was eating the diet prior to the carnivore.
No. If you were carnivore on the ship and I never joined you, I joined you 2 days later, and I'm saying if I had never joined you, I would still be in pain. I would still, and then at that point you'll be like, okay, babe, you need to try this. I'm telling you, your back will feel better. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing would be the difference is my personality, and
Tell us a little bit about your personality, sir.
My personality, I can say that blank with anybody else. I just do what I want to do, pretty much.
If that's not you.
And it doesn't matter what someone else is or isn't doing,
once you make your mind up.
Yeah, once I make my mind up. It's funny because, as a matter of fact, I went out to lunch with some coworkers last week when I was in Atlanta, and they just get a kick out of watching me order, right? But I don't care that they're eating the food that they eat, but they just all eyes on me when I order, and I tell the waitress, this is what I want, no seasoning, nothing. As a matter of fact, I got my own salt and sit on the table, and they just fall out laughing, And but it doesn't bother me, Some people will be kind of awkward with that. I'm not. I'm not awkward at all. And I think that's the reason why I wouldn't have had a problem if you were doing what you were doing and I was carnivore. But I think it really helps that we are, together, and any, when you got that kind of support in your own house, then it really does help tremendously. And I think sometimes that could be a struggle for people that are not on the same page when it comes to that, and make it a little more difficult. But I think all in all, being on the ship. Now, what he really impressed me with was we normally don't do any specialty restaurants. And on Royal Caribbean, their steaks, they don't have any ribeyes. Now I can't they don't unless you go into a specialty restaurant, which we don't do. Is what I'm saying. So we don't spend that extra money to eat outside of what's included. Now, because we do cruise a lot, we do spend a lot of damn money. I mean, I spend a lot of money. So it's like there's certain places where, I try and cut back to some degree. So, it's not like a one-time trip for us.
And keep in mind that you was trying to help me lose weight.
Yeah.
You gonna stick with the free food. You ain't venturing out. No, you big enough. No, he ain't never say that, y'all. Now we're thinking about it. You said you get down to 150. You done told that lie I don't know how many times.
So we don't venture out. So I would love to have access to ribeyes on a cruise, because I do eat a lot of hamburger and hot dogs, and they do have the sirloins, which they're okay, but it's not a ribeye. You carnivores who eat ribeye, there's nothing like a ribeye. I just had a T-bone the other day, and I'm looking on still ain't a ribeye, So
it's kind of chewy.
Yeah. So I think we might need to look into that. And I still wouldn't want to pay extra just
Well,
to
no,
get
no,
one ribeye
no,
because
because I think that if I let you know ahead of time, they brought me filet mignon.
Yeah, they
a couple
did.
of nights, so yeah, they'll
Yeah.
do that. But wait, another thing that he talked about on the video, and you know, I'm not even a nurse and want to put my nurse's hat on, is how do you sit by?
Yeah.
And I think because let me finish one sentence. How do you sit by and just watch this happen? And I know that made him feel some kind of way because he's in the middle of producing
Right.
a documentary about this very thing
Right.
that he's watching everybody take part in. Well, if nothing else, you should get you some B-roll footage.
you can B-roll footage, right? And a bullhorn. You're dying, people. No, but you know, you and I also had those conversations as well about when we're there on the ship and we see people and we want to help them. You know, we have been fortunate enough in situations where they see our cups. You know, they may inquire, and my wife even prepares instructions for our food that she provides to the head waiter on our first day.
Okay, so that could be something.
Yeah.
You have dietary needs, whether it is lactose intolerant, whatever it is. And for us, it's that we're carnivores. And my eggs need to be cooked in butter. I don't use any seed oils. And go down in regards to meat that has no sauce, no gravy, no seasonings on it. So just keep that in mind. Leave some pieces out. And so if you have that communication, because they're there to make you happy.
Yeah.
So the head waiter, I've already, because this our first time, y'all, being in a full 1-bedroom suite. We ain't never done this, but he ain't never turned 60 either. So this is where they write you and ask you anything. And so I've already put that information forward to them already via email.
Yeah, and because we do it so much, she's already prepared a Word doc that's on the computer. So all we do is just spit it out, print it out whenever we're ready to go. And modify it, you know, accordingly. But so she prepares a list of things that we want, and like she said, they're there to cater to our needs, cater to our wants, and so there's a way around it. But I want to get back to Carrie looking around and seeing all this sickness, seeing people on scooters, seeing people with these huge plates filled with carbs and all that kind of crap, and he you know, in his heart of hearts, he knows what they're dealing with, and even what they're going to be dealing with even more when they leave or later on during the cruise, you know, and with inflammation. And it breaks his heart. And you and I have talked about it as well, you know, seeing people like that. But I think we've kind of gotten past it, because one of the things that we said and decided that we would do, we would share, but we're not really trying to enforce our ways or our thoughts about this diet or way of living on anyone. We just kind of share what it has done for us, and that's all we do. You know, we've had,
if by chance that it comes up in conversation.
Yeah, and we've had multiple conversations on ships, and it seems to happen quite frequently now. You know, I think last time we had, 3 or 4, if not more.
Okay, an example, we could be seated, and normally it's another couple. It's not like it's going to be a man sitting there and I'm going to strike up a conversation or Frederick going to strike. It's not. But if it's a couple, hey, where you guys from? That type thing.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in that conversation, someone might mention when they get back, they got to have some tests done. Something medically they end up talking about, and possibly it's one of the things that we've already experienced and say, yeah, well, we know about that. In January of this year, my husband was on a walker, and then that's like really, and it just opens up, and then before you know it, they start sharing as well, and it kind of goes back and forth, and I like that.
Yeah, and they're oftentimes they are very inquisitive. as to what we're eating and what we're not eating when we're sitting there, right? So, you know, they're bringing on the appetizers, and we may get some shrimp cocktail occasionally, but for the most part, we just have our meat, you know, on a plate with no sides, with no bread, with no drinks other than water. And she doesn't even drink water when we're there at the table. Normally, I'll drink her water. I drink mine and hers as well, you know. So, and they, you know, they want to ask. They want to ask, you know, and sometimes they will. And that's our lead into the conversation, you know. We always have that conversation with the waiters. It started there.
Yeah.
You know, even when we were on Independence, I think back in September, we met a guy, our head waiter was from India. So we had that conversation with him, who he was concerned about his wife, who was still in India, and some of the issues she was having. So we were able to have that conversation. We were able to share our YouTube channel, and hopefully, you know, they watched it, you know, and that's all we can do is share. That's all we can do is open the door and share.
But keep in mind this. Keep in mind one of the things that Kerry talked about as well. He said when they booked the cruise, they weren't carnivore. So think about how many cruises we booked, and doggone it, the alcohol we do. As a matter of fact, we even had shirts. Dear liver.
Yeah, that was mine, dear liver.
Yeah, this cruise gonna be a little rocky or something like that. Stay strong.
Yeah, dear liver, stay strong.
We say, you know, different things like that. They were on our shirts when we walked on. So, and now we have a good time. We just don't involve food as the center of it to that degree. Yeah. So we start enjoying more the shows and listening to the music, the live band, the comedy show. So we find ourselves enjoying more of the activities versus sitting down. But I do eat 3-4 times a day though when I'm on there, but it's still just meat. Yeah, so we figured out how to go around it. Well, baby, what should they do?
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, Carrie, don't give up. I would say try Royal Caribbean one time.
No, try with us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Don't give up. You know we got the carnivore cruise coming up. You're going to be fine because you're going to be with other carnivores.
Yeah.
We won't be alone.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Going about it all wrong.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Gotta just spread out a little bit.
There you go. So if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And don't forget to hit that notification button. Why do I get tongue twisted every
I don't
time
know.
I say that one?
Because sometimes you call it a bell and now it's a button.
I know. It's a button.
It's
notification
a button.
bell.
In the
Notification
meantime.
button. Ding, ding, dong, dong. Bye-bye.